Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we are presenting a group presentation and the course code is EEE 456 and the course title is Biomedical Electronics Sessional. So here is our name of the project and the project name is Ultraviolet Light Effect on Bacteria. And the presentation is described by me, Marzan Rahman name, and my ID number is 19208018. So where is our objective part? And in this, in the end of this presentation, we'll know about what is UV light, how does UV light kill bacteria, and does UV light work in all conditions, or do UV light disinfection systems require maintenance or safety factor? So before further any delay, let's get started. So what is UV light? UV light is a part of natural sunlight and it can be seen as UV light is between visible light and X-ray. So ultraviolet light has been widely recognized for its germicidal properties and its ability to effectively eliminate harmful bacteria. UV light falls within the electromagnetic spectrum with wavelength ranging from 100 to 400 nanometers. And the impact of UV light on bacteria is a subject of immense space, scientific interest and practical applications. Over the years, researchers have extensively studied the mechanism by which UV light affects bacteria and have developed numerous applications to exploit its potential. Here is our second slide where we describe about the ultraviolet spectrum and at first the X-ray electromagnetic spectrum has 100 nanometer of wavelength, and after that vacuum has 200 nanometer wavelength, and UVC 280 wavelength of nanometer, and EVV have 300 150 nanometer, and from UVA it goes up to 400 wavelength of nanometers, and from 100 to 400 it is called ultraviolet ray. And in visible light it started from 400 to 780 nanometer, and after that, after 780 nanometer, the wavelength is called infrared ray. So does UV light work in all conditions? No. UV light will only travel in a straight line, so any shadow or obstruction will reduce its efficiency. Water that is not filtered can contain iron, magnesium, and other particles that can either absorb or scatter UV light, reducing the effectiveness of the disinfection system. And microorganisms that are able to pass through protected by shadows created by dirt, debris, or other microorganisms may be able to survive treatment.
I'm Milan Halgar. My registration is 1920804. Now I am discuss about materials and equipments. First we discuss about UV light source. UV light source is lamp that emits ultraviolet light in the range of 100 to 280 nanometers. These bulbs are specifically designed for germ killing. And next is chamber. A chamber is a house to emit the surface we want to disinfect. It should be made of materials that allows UV light pass through the such as quartz glasses. The chamber should be properly scaled on prevent UV light leakage. Next is reflective interior. The interior surface of the chamber should be lined with the reflective material to maximize UV light exposure and ensure the entire surface area receives sufficient UV radiation. Next is timer or control system. A timer or control system is necessary to regulate the duration of UV exposure. This allows to set specific time interval for the UV light to active the ensure consistent of the effective disinfection. Next is safety measure. UVC light can be harmful for human health, so it is important to include safety measure. Safety goggles and protective clothes should be worn when we UV chamber to shield the eye and skin from the radiation. Additionally, interlacers of sensor be installed to automatically turn off the UV light if the chamber is open during operation. Next, power supply. An appropriate power supply is required to provide electricity to the UVC light source. Ensure that the power supply matches the voltage and watts specification of the UV bulbs or lamps. Next is ventilation and optional accessories. Adequate ventilation is necessary to disperse heat generated by the UVC light source. This helps prevent overheating and ensure the longevity of the equipment. Optional accessories, depending on the specific application, we need additional accessories such as shelves, racks, hold emits, being disinfection types. Rotating mechanism to ensure uniform exposure. It is essential to consult the follow safety guideline provided by the manufacturer of the UVC light source and any other equipment used. Understanding the proper operation, maintenance, and the safety presentation. Rest of the topic will describe Musallim Karim.
Assalamu alaikum sir. I am Musallim Karim. My ID is 181080882. Now I am presenting the slide of bacteria about this project ultraviolet effect on bacteria. Bacteria are single called microorganism that belong to the domain. Bacteria one of the three domain of life alongside archaea and aquaria. They are among of the abundant and diverse organisms on Earth existing in nearly every environment, including soil, water, air, and even inside other living organisms.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sheikh Sultan Ahmed. Now I will explain about how UV work on water purification process. To know the purification process, firstly we need to know how UV work on bacteria. To know that, I am showing a video now. We know in water there are many kind of bacteria. All bacteria have protein layer. Here we can see the bacteria have protein layer and UV ray penetrating the bacteria protein layer. UV penetrate the layer and trigger to the DNA or RNA system of a bacteria. So because of RNA or DNA destroy, it can produce or sometimes because of intensity of UV, the bacteria is destroyed properly. The UV energy is permanently destroying the RNA process. So in this slide, we can see if we install a UV in a cylinder and water enters to in inlet and out through the outlet pipe. Because of flow through the UV cylinder, almost most of the bacteria is dead because of UV. Now we can use this purification process. And where we can use this purification process? We can use this purification process to houses, to some of them a storage tank, and some of there is water treatment plant. Do UV light disinfected system require maintenance? Yes, all UV light systems will require maintenance. UV light tube and lamps will require regular replacement. Teflon and quarter glass tubes within the unit of require cleaning to remove algae and other deposits. So it's recommended that you follow the maintenance procedure specified by manufacturer or product supplier.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Hamna Mahabub Sham, Department of Tripoli. Now I am describing the safety factor. It is the safety factor. Safety factor use radiation exposure, personal protective equipment, safety interlocks, warning signs and levels, training and awareness, controlled environment maintenance, and insectification. Now, human safety is a crucial consideration when using UV rays for bacterial disinfection. While UVC light is effective at killing bacteria, it can be also harmful to human health. If proper safety measures are not taken, here are some key factors to consider for human safety when using UV rays for bacterial disinfection. Now I am introducing the UVC radiation exposure. The UVC radiation exposure UVC radiation can damage the skin and eyes. Direct exposure to UVC light should be avoided when operating UVC equipment. Ensure that it is properly enclosed or shielded to prevent UVC leakage. Follow manufacturer guidelines regarding safety precautions and equipment uses. Now, personal protective equipment. It is essential to wear appropriate personal protective equipment when working with UVC light source. This includes safety progress or face shield that provide adequate protective against UVC radiation. Additionally, gloves and protective clothing can be worn to minimize skin exposure. Safety interlocks. UV chamber or device can be equipped with safety interlocks that automatically turn off the UVC light if the chamber is open or branch during the brushes. This export that accidental export to UVC radiation is minimized. Warning sign and label clearly mark areas where UVC equipment is the in this with the warning signs and labels. Research should indicate the presence of UVC radiation and remains individual to exposure. Caution and avoid direct exposure. Training and awareness proper training and awareness program should be implemented for individual who operates or work in close proximity to use equipment. They should be educated on the potential risk, safety procedures, and emergency protocol. Controlled environment. When using UVC device, it is advisable to work in controlled environments with a limited access. This helps minimize the risk of accidental exposure to UVC radiation by unauthorized personnel. Maintenance and inspection. Regular maintenance and inspection of UVC equipments are necessary to ensure its proper function and the safety. This includes a check for any damage to the equipment, monitoring UVC light intensity, and replace bulbs or intense lights. Lamps are recommended by the manufacturer. And it is important to emphasize that UVC light should not be used for disinfection or not near human skin or eyes. UVC device intended for bacterial disinfection should be operated by trained individuals who understand the safety precautions and guidelines associated with their use. Now, this is the end of safety factor. Thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum.